Good evening to you, and thank you for choosing Hope TV to update you on what is happening within Kenya and the world over. We hope your weekend is going well so far. You're tuned in to Weekend Newswatch. My name is Joy Muchache. Our sign language interpreter is Monica Acheng, and we will be taking you through our top stories for the evening. How about we get started? ODM party leader Raila Odinga has castigated President William Ruto's remarks that gives corrupt officers 3 options, among them going to heaven. Speaking during the burial ceremony for long-standing Central Organization of Trade Unions chairperson Rajabu Mondi, Raila termed the president's sentiments as reckless and criticized COTU's boss Francis Atwoli for not defending workers against what he has termed as exploitation by the government. Tess Njenga now reports.
Politics and matters of national concern took center stage at the burial of the late Central Organization of Trade Unions chairperson Rajab Mondi. Rajab served as COTU's chairman general for over 2 decades and doubled up as general secretary of the Printing, Publishing, Paper Manufacturers and Allied Workers Union. While addressing the mourners in the meeting that was attended by various leaders, including Prime Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, Raila described Rajabu as a great tree and an integral part of the society. However, the ODM party leader criticized COTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli, saying that he has failed to raise issues affecting workers and was instead praising the government.
Yale maneno tunasema ndakana Atwoli liongoze kusema kama kiongozi wa wafanyikazi. Yale tunasema hata kuambia Wakenya waende kwa barabara, hiyo ni kazi ya Atwoli. Anasema ni anakwenda huko pande ile nyingine ya serikali, pembe nyingine pale anasema ati wengine shenzi sana. Shenzi sana. Ndio shenzi sana.
While he refrained from speaking on the bipartisan talks, Raila took a swipe at President William Ruto's recent remarks that gave corrupt officers 3 options, among them vacating the country or going to heaven. Raila termed the president's words reckless, saying that every Kenyan has the right to live without being intimidated in the country.
Lakini mtu asikuja hapa kwambia kwamba yeye anajua bila nataka kufanya sisi. Mpaka watu wote washirikiane pamoja. Mtu anakuja alafu anatisha watu. Anasema ati wewe utahama, nitakuweka wewe jela au wewe utaenda kwa Mungu. Hii ni mazungumzo aina gani? Sasa Kenya hii imekuwa ni yake. Anakuambia wewe toka. Na wewe umezaliwa hapa Kenya hii, ni nchi yako wewe unajua. Mtu anamwambia wewe hama. Uhama uende wapi? Alafu kama sivyo akupeleke yeye kwa jela. Yeye ndiye anakushtaki wewe na yeye afunga wewe. Si anasema nitakupeleka wewe jela. 3, atakupeleka kwa Mungu. Anakusema atakuua. Hii ni utawala aina gani hii? Hii ni Kenya gani hii?
Raila added that the Azimio coalition is not interested in a shared government, but in transparency of what transpired in the 2022 general elections, maintaining that the servers should be opened.
Sisi hatutaki siasa za ubaguzi. Nataka siasa ya kuunganisha Wakenya wote. Wengine kila mara wanasema tio Raila na watu wa Azimio wanatafuta msumukati. Msumukati gani? Sisi hatutaki hata roho ya mkati. Hatutaki. Sisi hatujaomba mtu mkati yoyote. Hiyo mkati tunasema kulani hiyo yenu yote hiyo ambayo mliiba.
Drama also ensued when COTU Secretary General grabbed the microphone from the Vihiga Senator Godfrey Osotsi, owning the event as COTU's and castigating the senator for failing to champion for Kenyan workers' rights in the Senate.
Mimi ndio nitaita Deputy Governor. Hii ni matanga ya COTU, Central Organization of Trade Unions. Sawa, ukitaka kwenda ita kwa. Mimi nataka kumuita Mheshimiwa shemegi yangu Raila.
Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Tess Njenga.
Sasa ziko budget ndio unasema zitakuja mwaka huu au zitakuja mwaka.
Thank you for that report, Tess Njenga. Let's move on. Prime Cabinet Secretary, His Excellency Musalia Mudavadi, attended the funeral service of the late Honorable James Nakwanga Osogo at Port Victoria in Budalangi, Busia County earlier today. Osogo, who died on Tuesday, August the 15th, at the age of 91 years, was termed by Mudavadi as a real friend and a humble icon who served in the cabinet for a period spanning 16 years between 1964 to 1980, where he served in various ministries in the Jomo Kenyatta and Daniel Moi governments. Mudavadi went on to explain that Osogo served Kenya in his best capacity and should be regarded as a respectable figure in the history of the nation.
Tulitoa ile heshima ya kusimama kuonyesha ishara yetu ya heshima kwa familia ya mzee Osogo, na pia kupitia kwa serikali yake. Serikali ya William Ruto ikawasiliana na imefanya uhusiano mwema na familia ya mzee Osogo ili kuhakikisha kwamba heshima ama ile nafasi ya kusema kwaheri kwa mzee wetu inakuwa ceremony ya kiheshima ya kitaifa. Tunakuja na ile roho ya kusema ni lazima tupeane heshima ya kutosha kwa jamii, kwa familia, kwa mzee wetu ambaye alitulinda. Tumekuja ili tutoe heshima yetu, kwa sababu haya si mazishi ya Banyala peke yake. Haya ni mazishi ya kitaifa. Haya ni mazishi ambaye tumekuja kwa sababu huyu ni shujaa wa kitaifa. Tukisoma program tunaona wizara nyingi ambazo amewahi kuhudumia, na tumeona viwanda vingi katika taifa letu la Kenya, sio tu eneo ya magharibi. Amehusika na viwanda kama ni Pwani, kama ni Thika, kama ni kwengine. Kwa hivyo yeye amekuwa kiongozi wa kitaifa.
Sultan HAMUD area is a famous area as a commercial center that continues growing quite fast due to the transportation of goods through the highway from Mombasa to Nairobi. Long-distance trailer drivers stop at Sultan HAMUD to rest at night or during the day while en route. And retailers as well as hoteliers rely on their business. It is for this reason that Superior Homes and the Makueni County government have partnered to build a luxury hotel center to provide various services such as accommodation, parking, car repair, and so on to serve the long-distance truck drivers traveling from Mombasa. Faith Kaulu reports.
Sultan HAMUD area in Kasike Ward, Kilome constituency, Makueni County, is a very popular trading center, especially for the cargo transport sector. Sultan HAMUD Commercial Center sits along the busy Mombasa-Nairobi highway. The town was named after Sultan Ali HAMUD, who ruled Zanzibar from 1902 to 1911. When the railway was being built through this area, Sultan Ali HAMUD visited to witness the work in progress. Now, in less than a year, this area will have a special stopover dubbed Super Stop, whose construction has already taken off. Makueni Governor Mutula Kilonzo Jr. has initiated the construction of a Super Stop, a modern truck station costing a total of 350 million Kenya shillings along the Mombasa-Nairobi highway at Sultan HAMUD area to serve drivers, a project funded and managed by Superior Homes.
This is so good because we know any trade from the ship when the inland, all the goods are being carried, the truck drivers, and therefore they do a very good job, and they facilitate trade between nations. Kitoka Mombasa napitia hapa Mali, Sultani, Salama, Malili sijui wanasimama kidogo, then Chumvi wanakaa hapo. It looks quite disorganized, But this looks, I know it will be quite organized. So it's an extremely good idea, and we welcome you as investors, and we thank you.
Huu ni mradi wa kipekee katika barabara kuu ya Mombasa Road na katika taifa la Kenya, na tushukuru wale ambao wameanza mradi huu ambao wanaitwa Superior Homes kuanzisha almaarufu Super Stop ambayo ni ya kipekee. Ajali nyingi ambazo zinafanyika za barabara katika barabara kuu ya Mombasa Road zinafanyika upande huu wa Makueni, kuanzia Salama kupitia hapa, na njia mwafaka ya kuzuia ajali hizi za barabara ni facility kama hii ambayo ni ya kipekee.
According to Superior Homes, the hotel center will include a parking lot, a fuel station, accommodation, a variety of affordable restaurants, shops, toilets and bathrooms, prayer rooms, and a health center. In addition, Superstop will also provide other services including truck and vehicle repairs, driver training, and logistics services.
We started the project early this year. We anticipate that an overall value of the investment will be about 350 million shillings. We anticipate the whole project to take about a year, but it's been about a year before that in conceptualization, making sure the design is right, it works for the market, working with focus groups, working with all industry stakeholders, Ministry of Transport, Kenha, just to make sure that we get it right. Rather than in terms of people, I mean, we'll be looking at over 100 people employed directly here doing various activities. But for us, it's more about like who are we supporting in terms of the local community. 70% of everyone on the site, even here today, is from the local community.
Na nimesema na ninarudia kwamba sisi watu wa Makueni hatutaki kuwapatia vizuizi wawekezaji kwa njia yoyote. Sisi nimewapatia amri wale ambao wanapatiwa wana kitengo ambacho ni cha wanashughulika na mambo haya siku 14 kuhakikisha kwamba wawekezaji wanapata ruksa ya kufanya vitu kama hizi, kwa sababu hakuna haja kusumbuliwa kama mahali pengine unaweza ngoja miezi mitatu ama miaka mitatu, na hakuna rushwa na hakuna kitu wanaulizwa. Kama ni pesa zinalipwa na receipt.
In addition, the project is expected to provide job opportunities for Makueni residents as well as reduce the number of accidents between the Salama and Sultan stretch on the Mombasa-Nairobi highway, which is a black spot. For Hope TV Newswatch, my name is Faith Kaulu.
Thank you for that, Faith Kahulu. And the Global Children Climate Summit, the GCCS, themed a platform to mobilize children globally to influence climate finance policymakers in favor of the Global South, was held today at the Kenya Teachers Technology College in Gigiri, Nairobi. The children and young advocates for global finance justice, poverty eradication, and climate action gathered in Nairobi for the first ever child-led Global Climate Change Summit from the 31st of August to the 2nd of September 2023 as a preparatory event for the Africa Climate Summit that will be taking place on the 4th of September to the 6th of September in Nairobi. The GCCS was represented by children from diverse backgrounds and regions who are driven by a shared belief in the power of their voices to effect positive change.
A declaration for children below we feed into the Africa Climate Summits and relations and share our solutions.
We, the Global Child-led Climate Change Summit Committee, GCCCS, and the children representatives from the Global South, who have authored the new Children's Global Financial Pact Declaration and presented it to global leaders and those in the financial world during the new Global Financial Pact Summit in Paris, France, from the 22nd to the 23rd June 2023. We have planned and convened the first ever Global Child-led Climate Change Summit in Nairobi from the 31st of August to the 2nd of September. On the sidelines of the inaugural Africa Climate Summit. The outcome statement and declaration from children below will feed into the Africa Climate Summit and beyond to influence policymaking and decision-making and include the voice of the children and adolescents. Dear Honorable President Felix Antoine Tshisekedi of the Democratic Republic of Congo and esteemed Chairperson of the African Union, distinguished heads of state and government, esteemed leaders of international organizations, respected representatives from civil society, foundation, funds, and the private sector in attendance at the Africa Climate Summit 2023. We, the children and young advocates for global financial justice, poverty eradication and climate action, gathered here in Nairobi for the first ever child-led Global Climate Change Summit.
Years of drought and rainfall variation in Samburu County continue to hugely affect food security in the area. This has been caused by climate change and an increase in harmful human activities such as deforestation. The river is slowly drying up, leading to sand harvesting along the river banks. Joy Gatwiri has visited the area and shares more on the impact of sand harvesting in River Ewaso Nyiro.
Uncontrolled sand harvesting on Ewaso Nyiro River, Samburu County, is a threat to this water source. Sand harvesting along Ewaso Nyiro River at Achaspus Bridge in Samburu County has happened for many years. The river provides huge tons of sand daily for the constructions and other uses across 3 counties, Isiolo, Marsabit, and Meru. However, the river is fast drying up due to increased human activity along its banks. Unfortunately, arid and semi-arid counties of Laikipia, Samburu, Meru, and Isiolo depend on it. Years of drought and rainfall variation caused by climate change and an increase in harmful human activities such as deforestation have hugely affected the water levels in the river, and sand harvesting along the riverbanks is turning out to be another huge threat. During this season of droughts, the communities, livestock and wildlife in Loru Bay and other communities downstream rely on shallow wells to supply water. According to Joseph Lekupes, the chairman for sand harvesters in the area, the river supports many livelihoods with more than 800 households relying on the business to feed for their families. Many youths are jobless and are dependent on the river as their only source of income. The communities in the area in Samburu County at large have benefited from sand harvesting activities since 2007. Lekupes, however, refutes claims that sand harvesting is the greatest contributor to decreased water flow in Ewaso Nyiro River and blames it to upstream farmers from Meru, Nyeri, Nyandarua, and Laikipia. He is now calling upon the government to offer alternative economic activities for youths who depend on the river by harvesting sand.
Members ambao wako registered kwa hii kazi ya kuharvest mchanga ni vijana 250 ambao wako registered, na wale ambaye is not registered wako zaidi ya 300 ambaye are not registered. Ewaso Nyiro, wakati tunasema ati tuna vijana ambao wana collect mchanga, wanasuia mchanga ama wanaharibu mchanga, hakuna mali wanaharibu. Hii mto Ewaso Nyiro tunapochota mchanga hatuendi deep, tunaenda tu just only 2 feet ama 1 feet and half. Kwa hivyo another kama feet 5 tumeacha chini hatutumii. Kwa hivyo huko jujo tunaomba wafungue maji ama wawe na wakati ya rain season watege wawe na maji nyingi, alafu wakati wengine wasiguze maji, waachilie maji kitembea, na tuweze kuangalia samaki, tuweze kuangalia vitu zingine na ile ambayo inategemea mto.
Many sand harvesters in the area share the same sentiments that sand harvesting is their only source of income. They have now formed sand harvesting groups which have helped them secure loans to empower themselves.
Hii mchanga imesaidia watu, hata sio watu hata ya hapa tu, hata watu ya mbalimbali, hata watu ya Baringo bado iko hapa, hata watu ya Baragoi, Marsabit, mpaka hata Wakambani.
Kulingana na hali ya uchumi vile iko, naona hii kazi inaajiri vijana wengi, maana hapa hivi acha si ngumu sana usikie wizi ile ya rokoroko ile ya kawaida.
Kuna group tunachukua loan. Sasa naona tumetusaidia hata watu hapa town. Sasa hii gasi tunaona ni msuri ametusaidia sisi sana.
Nimekaa miaka mingi hapa nilikuwa tunafanya hii kazi ya mchanga. Hata kuna wakati ilikuwa hata hii waisi alikuwa anatupiga hapa pamoja na hii magari. Ilikuwa anatufahamia kutafuta pesa. Sasa tumevumilia tu kufanya tu hii kazi ya mchanga, ndio ametusaidia.
However, some of the sand harvesters are raising concerns on the sand harvesting industry in the area being dominated by a small number of wealthy individuals, and that much of the profit does not benefit the local community.
Mwito wangu kwa serikali ni kuambia tu watuuge mkono, maana pia hizi magari zinakuja hapa hivi kama hizi ya kutoka Isiolo hapa hivi zinatunyanyasa zaidi. Gari zamani tulikuwa tunauza hiyo gari kwa flat, tulikuwa tunauza gari kwa flat hivyo, lakini kwa sasa hizi pia wanakuja wanaweka bao mbili, alafu pia kuna wengine wanakuja lazima mkatie bei na pia umuongeze mchanga. Sasa tunaomba serikali pia ikirie hayo mambo katikati, maana pia mimi nikiuza gari hapo mwingine atauza 17, mwingine 18.
Henry Lenayasa, an area chief at Waso East location, blames the obstruction of water upstream on the decrease of water in the river. According to him, over 1,000 households are beneficiaries of sand harvesting along Ewasonyiro River, but there is need for bylaws to be put in to regulate human activities along Ewasonyiro River banks.
I know there's some laws where the riparians, people should not build along the riparians. But nowadays you find people even farming all along the river. And also pollution, sewerage pollutions heading towards the river, which is now not good. If you come to downstream where there is a lot of conflicts, where people scrabble for these resources like water, you find people are killing, people are fighting over these scarcity resources like water. We have the Boran on the other side, we have the Samburu on this side, we have the Rendile on the other side. So it happens also to contribute a lot of conflicts between the neighborhood communities. So this river has created a lot of good and negative. It supports the livelihood, but don't we have the laws to govern that harvesting?
Unregulated sand harvesting is now causing soil erosion, riverbank degradation, and the destruction of wildlife habitat. Judging from the low volumes of water crossing the Archers Post Bridge, the river could soon dry up, leaving more than 3.5 million residents without water. Government, local leaders, and the community at large need to put in measures to protect this water source at all costs. Joy Gatweri, reporting for Hope TV in Samburu County.
At this point, we'll be taking a very short breather. Don't go too far. We'll be back with more stories, including business and international and sports stories.
Love Nairobi Festival with evangelist Andrew Palau is coming to Nairobi. All are welcome at this free event. 3 days of great music with Don Moen, Honky, Evelyn Wanjiru, and more of Kenya's best artists. Bring the kids to the family fun zone, see high-flying motorcycle and BMX bicycle demonstrations. Love Nairobi Festival, 15th to 17th September at the University of Nairobi Sports Grounds. Friday, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Saturday and Sunday, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. More details at lovenairobifestival.org. It's free.
The following content is made for audiences 18 and under. Viewer discretion is advised for mature audiences.
Expect the unexpected on the Stars Show here on Hope TV. It's getting bigger and better because it's all about talent. Anything goes from singing, open my eyes, dancing, magic, comedy,
handsome ladies and beautiful men.
This show is open to any performer below 18 years of age from any background with any talent. All you need is a skill and a star quality. Just remember to join us every Saturday from 8 a.m. with me, your host, Samara Musheru.
Hope TV is where you look and live, with an excellent selection of the best Christian programming consisting of local and international content of inspirational stories, talk shows, Bible commentary, youth, health shows, children entertainment, contemporary gospel music, extended times of worship, live broadcast, news, movies, drama, Christian ministry programs, and so much more. Hope TV is another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries with over 45% of authentic and credible local content every week. Hope TV is a sister station to Hope FM, Kenya's leading Christian radio station with footprints across the country. Tune in to Hope TV, where you look and live.
Welcome back. You're watching Weekend Newswatch with me, Joy Muchacha. Our sign language interpreter is Monica Cheng. Engage with us on Facebook at Hope TV Kenya. On Instagram and X, find us at HopeTV_KE and let us know what you think of our Newswatch bulletin and any other thoughts you would like to share on the same. As we move on, the journey of a writer takes discipline and intentionality in order to complete an entire book. This is according to Virtue Plus founder and CEO Rose Kainda, who says that she was inspired to start the ministry in order to bring transformation to the mind of readers and society through book publishing. Virtue Plus is a Christian publisher that helps Christian authors on the journey of writing and also publishing of books. While holding an exclusive meeting with the Virtue Plus authors at Sitam Valley Road, Rose said that there are many challenges that face authors and publishers, but if one is intentional in planning, it is possible to succeed at writing and impact many.
We are not writing as a hobby. You are writing a word of transformation. So you need to be very, very intentional to be able to write a transformational book. That's being a challenge for an author. For the publisher, one of the greatest challenges is when people think that because you're doing Christian stuff, you can do it for free. But it is actually not for free because this is what you are serving. But you need to earn something to be able to meet your needs. Okay, so people will think that, oh, maybe you don't want to publish my work. Why are you charging me? You are not a true minister. You know, those questions. So there is that lack of clarity that is out there in the society. The beautiful butterfly, we don't realize it's gone through this ugly part. And so when you talked about the broken marriages, this transformation, then there is restoration. But what stuck out for me was hopelessness. Even as I write, I am intending and encouraging, when the book is finally out, to encourage people that there is hope. But another challenge probably that I have as a publisher is lack of finances, because we are virtually very young. Virtue Plus became full-time in publishing in 2020, when COVID just started. And it was like, we have just entered into the industry and it is quiet, you know? People are saying, wait, we can't commit money for publishing now. The only money we need is to buy food, you know, to be safe, medication and all that. And yet the Lord then told me, you know what? This is the path I want you to take now. And it took quite a time for me to go before the Lord and wait and hear that this is actually what I needed to do. So, but by the grace of God, I am very content. I am so blessed that it is yielding results. I'm seeing transformation. I am seeing change in lives, firstly from the others that we have, and even from our audiences, especially as we get to hear feedback from them.
Let's look at what's happening in the rest of the world as Typhoon Saola made landfall in southern China before dawn today, affecting business activities in Hong Kong and caused nearly 900,000 to be evacuated to safety. Most of Hong Kong and parts of the coastal mainland suspended businesses, transport, and classes. However, infrastructure damage appeared to be minimal, with some services in Hong Kong returning to normalcy by this afternoon. Meanwhile, Taiwan issued a warning today for a second typhoon called Haikui, which was expected to pass over the island tomorrow before traveling onward to the central Chinese coast. Great news for India as they have launched their first space mission to study the sun shortly after becoming the first country to land near the moon's south pole area. the Aditya L1 spacecraft took off on board a satellite launch vehicle from Srikahotka Space Center in southern India today on a quest to study the sun from a point of about 900,000 miles, which is 1.5 million kilometers from Earth, known as the L1. India's space agency on social media platform X, formerly Twitter, later confirmed that the satellite was successfully now in orbit. The broadcast was watched by more than 860,000 viewers, while thousands gathered at a viewing gallery near the launch site to see the lift-off of the probe, which aims to study solar winds, which can cause disturbance on Earth, commonly seen as auroras. And in the world of sports, the Bankers started their campaign on the right footing, seeing off Homeboys 33-5 in their opening match of the day. Michael Wamalwa, who was exceptional in the Game 1, continued with his heroics to help KCB demolish Mombasa RFC 28-0 in the afternoon clash, their second of the day. Having already qualified for the quarters, the Bankers were not to be stopped as they defeated varsity side Black Blood 28-0 to seal the top spot in Pool A. The team is currently 2 points behind circuit leaders Cabras Sugar, who also booked a place in the quarters after the splendid first day outing.
We're happy with the results so far. We set off to just take a game at a time, and the players showed up well. And now we just focus on the knockout phase tomorrow. The rest of the team also has taken the game in stride, having Mike Wanjala also getting back to his form. He had a slow start with a pulled hamstring 2 weeks ago. But now getting here, we're not overconfident, but we are just appreciating the chemistry we see in the team. Just the basics. We stick to the system, the structure, we be the system, trust the system. We are safe in our structures. The rest of the score line and everything else just falls in place.
Faith Kipyegon and Mary Moraa, who won gold in the just concluded World Athletics Championship in Budapest, Hungary. This comes after Kipyegon and Moraa were awarded a prize of 2 million shillings each for their outstanding gold medal victories in the respective events at the World Athletics Championships in Budapest, Hungary. Well, that's all we've got for you today. Thank you so much for choosing us for your updates once again. Our sign language interpreter was Monica Aching. My name is Joy Muchache. And of course, a huge thank you to all those who made the broadcast possible. We wish you a blessed night ahead.